Study Group. With us today, we have Len Volk, James Dumont, and Dylan Reed. James is going to be going over his PowerPoint for network management using a Terraform module.
Hi everyone, thank you. So let's begin about this next video about managing network resources with a Terraform module in Microsoft Azure. About the agenda of today, the first point here is we will see what is the objective of a module. Why do we do a module in Terraform? The second part will be how to call this module. You will see there is several options, and at the end of the agenda, we will do a quick demo of using this module. So, what is the module objective? So, the first objective of a module is to have an embedded naming convention. The module will just ask us a few parameters, and the naming convention will be written for us. The second one is that I don't want we don't want to manage our network resources with many parameters. So the one module objective is to give a limited number of parameters, and the module will do the rest for us. The third point here is that we use Terraform V version 12. And with this version, we can manage multiple resources using the new feature for each, which will allow us to manipulate many resources with the creation, the deletion, and also the modification. And it will only impact the resource that we want to manage. This is actually a very important features of Terraform V12. So the fourth point is to show you that here we have a unique module which is called the AZ virtual network, and this module will call all of these Terraform resources. We will manage the resource group, the subscription, the virtual network peering, the subnet, the route table, and also at the end, as you can see, we will manage also Azure Bastion host. Here, the point is that it's a module. You can decide or not to create a route table. If you don't want to create a route table, for example, you just leave this variable as an empty list. This is the same for the peering, etc., the network security group. Okay, let's continue. So in Terraform, this is a screenshot on how we can call a module. So the first two lines are very important. It's about sourcing the module. As you can see, this path, James DLD Virtual Network Azure RM, it's a dynamic link that will point to the HashiCorp module Terraform repository. The link actually is just at the top of the PowerPoint. If I click to it, I will show you where it's located. So we are just going to the Azure Virtual Network module. This is the module I did, and as I presented in the PowerPoint, you can see that I'm listing again the resource that we are calling. And here I have written one example. Maybe we can decide to add a hover in the past, in the future or not. And if you want to have a look to the example, you can also scroll down to the example panel here, and you will see the complete example. If you click on it, it will go through how to call this module with an example. Yeah. Here the point is important also for me is that here this is a link to an Azure pipelines that tests for me the module and guarantee that the version V013 is working correctly. So if I go back on the slide, as you can see at the first two lines, I have the source, so where the module is located, and also the version. It's important to fix the version because sometimes we can have breaking chains and we don't want to be impacted about breaking chains that we do not manage. I told you in the beginning about naming convention. You can see that the third character, the net prefix, you can write what you want actually, but keep in mind that this prefix will be used to name all the sub resources. So this is the beginning of the naming convention that I just told you. We will see in detail the several variables. Just have a look on the last one. So the last one, it's about the tag management. So if you provide tag value here, it will add tags on the resource into your resource group. Actually, it can take the tags of the resource group, inherit those tags to your resource, but you can also add additional tags. So this is the point of this variable. Okay, guys, let's continue to the next slide. So about the demo. So here I will show you a quick demo of this module, and we will create two virtual network, as you can see in this PowerPoint. The first one will be called the SEC1, and the second one will be called Apps1. Actually, it's quite simple. It's a bit inspired from the hub and spokes model of Microsoft Azure. And we will also in this area create one Azure Bastion in this VNet and another one in the second one too. If you want to redo the demo, I just add a link at the bottom here to the code Terraform that we will use to create those resources. So let's go on it. So the code is here. I will just create a Terraform configuration file to do it. So I will just copy paste all the code that is here on my local computer. So obviously my local computer is configured with to use Terraform. So if I write down Terraform V, I can see that I'm using the version 0.12.12, which is not actually the last one, but it will be fine for the demo. So we will just write down our Terraform configuration file. We will call it, let's say, demo TF. So here it's important that the extension is TF. It's just when we will be located in this folder, the Terraform commandlet will be aware that it should read this file because it has the extension TF. So I'm copy pasting my code. Okay, so here I'm good. Okay, so we just saw in the PowerPoint how to call the module. So here in my example, I already have a resource group which is called demo GDLD no prod. Okay, and I have the correct privilege to write resource on it. Here, I don't want to create any root table, never any public IP address, but we will create a virtual network, a subnet, a network secretary, extra, and a pyramid. I will go through my Azure subscription just to have a look on it to show you that my resource group is empty. Okay, let's connect. Okay, we will just prepare the slide. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, okay, the connection seems not very good. Okay, sorry for that. Let's go back on my resource group. So I have prepared this resource group, which is called demo. So I have a tag which is usage demo. I do not have any resources here, but we will create what we want. So if we go on at the left, we can see the diagram, and I will show you that in the code how it is used. So here, the first variable that I will create is the virtual network. So here, as I told you, I have two virtual networks. The first one is VNetSec with this address space, and the second one is the apps with this address space. So here about the naming convention, what I will use is I will concat the net prefix that we saw in the past here. So this is the net prefix. So my VNet will be called demo VNet with the prefix of the VNet, sec, and with an ID of the VNet. So here, if I would want to add a new one, so let's say sec2, we just have to copy paste that to add a new ID. So it will code sec2 and an address space that is available. So let's say the third one. So this is how it works in the module actually. So we'll just delete this one. So we have one VNet, two VNet. So here we are good. Now I have a variable with the subnet. So the first one is the subnet of the Azure firewall. So its address space is here. And here the important point is the VNet key. The VNet key here, this name, it's important that it look like it's exactly the same as the key of the variable that we just write it down and the virtual network variable. So VNet sec1. So here we can read that this subnet Azure firewall is located in the VNet key VNet sec1. This is useful in the Terraform module. It is the way that we have to create implicit dependency to tell that Terraform that you need to create the VNet before creating the subnet. And because Terraform is also able to delete the resource, because of this implicit dependency, the Terraform code will know also that you need to delete the subnet before deleting the VNet. Okay, so let's continue. Here, we will also create the application gateway subnet with the energy key, this one, which will be in the bottom. And if we go through, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subnets. So the 6 subnets are located in white here in my box. And only one has an energy. So we will have a look at the energy. Yes, just before that, just keep in mind that when you write down the Azure Bastion subnet with this name, the module will automatically know for you that it will create for you the Azure Bastion host in this subnet. So the next level is about the pairing. So here we just say the remote virtual network, etc. So the pairing to be done correctly need to be on both sides, on the VNet 1 sec1 and on the VNet apps 1. And here it's about the energy network security groups. So here it's not very difficult. It's just hard. Actually, it's important to list every network security group rules that you want to create. Here in the description, if you want to have a look, I just used the Microsoft network security group that it's recommended to apply on an application gateway subnet. So, okay, and the tag, the last tag is about the demo. Okay, hope it's clear for you. So now I will just execute my Terraform code. So here it's just calling the module, and at the top we have defined our variables. So the first command is about applying the Terraform init command. He will just download the module on the local folder. So just here, if you have a look, the module is here. He will also check that we are using the correct Terraform version that is required by the module. Actually, it's also on the documentation on my repo, but the requirement is to use Terraform v012 because we use the for each command. So here my Terraform init command is done. So I'm good. We will execute the Terraform apply command. So here I'm giving to the Terraform apply, I'm giving a secret JSON file that contains my service principal account. My service principal account is hello to write resource on my Azure subscription. If we just check it here, if you go on Identity Access Control panel on the role assignment, here you can see that this service principal has been set owner to my demo subscription. So we will use this account to create our resource. So its ID are located in the JSON. So let's execute the Terraform apply command. Okay. So cool. So if you have a look on the Terraform code, it says that we have 16 resources to create, and 0 change, 0 destroy. Obviously, my subnet is blank, so everything needs to be done. So if you just have a look on the virtual network on this one, you can see that the naming convention has been applied. The VNet will be called demo net sec VNet 1. So I will just set yes to create my resource. And here we go. So actually, the last time I did it, it took about 5 minutes. The resource that take the most time to be created are the Azure Bastion host. But we will just go on our resource group. As you can see on the activity log, okay, so the first network security group has been created. So we can just see it here. And the remaining action have been done. Okay, here we go. We have the 2 minutes.
Jeez, maybe a quick question while we wait for the resources to be deployed. So
Yes,
I've also seen, thank you. I've also seen that you created the public IP address inside of the module. The public IP address, as I understand, is going for the Bastion host. Any reason why you did it this way?
Actually, when you have a look on the module, let's open it again. Yes, here. So we didn't create the public IP address. When I did create the module, I also asked me this question, and what I decided to do is that to allow users to create public IPs. So this is these variables. You can create any public IPs you want. But I wanted to embed the function that create the bastion host for you. So if you go on the module, you will see that if he sees that you're trying to create a subnet that is called Azure Bastion subnet, he will, for you, create the bastion host, its public IPs, even if you didn't ask to create a public IPs. I did it this way because the objective of the module is to facilitate the life to the end users. In this way, they don't have to think about creating these public IPs, etc. And the other point is that when we create the bastion host with this module, you will create the bastion host with a specific name, and its public IP will be named bastion host underscore public IP. And in this way, when we go on the Azure portal, we get a clear information of the dependency of the resource. You see, if you see my screen, the bastion, one bastion has already been created here. So it's demo net apps vnet vas 1 for bastion, and its public IP is named bas underscore pipe 1. So that how it has been done inside the module.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks, James.
Actually, it's all about scripting. We could have decided to do it another way. That's the way I did it inside my module. But here, my point is not to say to people to use my module. It's just to say to people that this is an example of how could be used a module.
Correct. And James, that's gonna actually give I'm gonna ask another question if you don't mind. So obviously fascinating with the module. Let's say if I need to customize it for my other needs, and I don't need the VNet peering, just for simplicity's sake. All I need to do is just go to where I call the module and then just comment out the VNet peering part, or there's more modification needs to be done?
No. There is two options. The first option is there is two use cases. The first use case is you don't want, as you just mentioned, you don't want to use some option of my module. Okay, this is the simplest option. If you don't want to use the option route table, for example, you just provide an empty list here. You just provide an empty list. So if you don't want to do the peering here on the VNet peer, you just add this. Okay? And
yes.
It won't do the peering if you just do that. Okay? It's just optional. So this is the simplest case. The hardest case will be if you want to evolve the module, add a new feature, hard code some network security groups because your security teams force you to deny all outbound connection, for example. A module can be used also for that. But if you want to do that, you will need actually to recreate your module on a repository of your choice and to edit the module at your own. But he will have his own life cycle.
Clear. Yep, that's good enough. James, and my last question would be also, if you don't mind, at the very beginning. Thank you. At the very beginning, you showed us your GitHub repo and the link of Azure DevOps, where you said this. By clicking on this link, you can see that indeed my module working well. did it mean that actually that when I click on this link, I'm gonna go to your Azure DevOps and I can re-execute it again, or it's just only a snippet of your run job?
This is interesting. No, actually, let's go back on that. So, okay, let's imagine that you will you go on the Terraform public registry. Actually, I will go here with a private browser. Okay, so I'm not authenticated. Okay, so here I am on Terraform registry. I'm not authenticated to Terraform, never to GitHub, but it's public. My module is public, so people can access on it. So they can download it. They can read the complete example, etc. My repository is not really located in the Terraform registry. The Terraform registry is just a way to publish module, okay? But the real module is on GitHub. As you can see here, the source is on GitHub. So if you go on GitHub, here you will see my complete module. So this is where I write my README. Actually, my README is here also. It's just a presentation interface. So here on my GitHub, you do not have access to edit my GitHub, okay? But you can read it. It's exactly the same with my Azure DevOps pipeline. If you click on it, here I am not authenticated to Azure DevOps. As you can see on the top right, it's just writing sign in. So I don't want to sign in. So you can have access to my last version, my last code, my last test, the last test I did. And you can just check the steps that have been done among my tests.
Interesting. Thank you.
But you cannot rerun the test. Actually, the test that is done with a continuous integration and continuous delivery concept. So whenever I do a change, my pipeline tests that my code still works.
Clear. Thank you, James.
That's how it is done. Okay, I think we are good. So the 16 resource has been created on Azure. This is good. I will just prepare my destroy command because I don't want to consume a resource and to pay for them. So as you can see, we have the energy here. It is linked to one subnet. It has my energy rules that we did see. And just as a verification, we can just go on the sec virtual network. We can see that there are 3 subnets containing my Azure Firewall subnet and my Azure Bastion subnet. And we can I don't remember if we go on the Azure Bastion subnet. Yes, we can see that my Azure Bastion subnet is located in this virtual network. So we have one for the apps and one for the sec. And if you just have a look on the tags, we have 2 tags. The one that was at the resource group level, and the one that we had in our code. Okay. I think I'm okay. Do you have any other question, guys?
Yeah, James. Actually, just a clarification on the question that Len asked earlier about the modifications. So you had said that in Len's questions case for the peering, you could just pass in an empty string. Would you then have to go to like the the peering variable and remove the values there, or you could just leave those. And if it's an empty string up top or an empty string in the module, then it's not going to even look to add those values.
Actually, you don't have to modify the module. You just have to modify how you call the module. So here on my code, I have two methods. The first method is to replace this variable by this one. Okay, it's not an empty string. Actually, it's an empty list. Yes, in Terraform we call it a list. So it's an empty list. If you do that, it will remove the peering. The second method is to go on the variable that we have written at the top here, and we will remove its content. Actually,
Okay.
it's the same. It's the same because the default variable will be also an empty list.
Okay, so if in the module you call the empty list, then you don't have to delete anything. You can just leave those values. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is great. James, and maybe like for the future recording, right? What you showed to us when you provision these resources, when we're looking at this at the current screen, you pass along the JSON file which has your secrets for the SPN and authenticate to the portal. You also mentioned to us offline that you have MSI
Yes.
created, and you can do it the same way. So maybe for the future, if you could just demonstrate to our users, to our public, how would you do it with MSI?
No problem. No problem. It's a good idea. Yes, it's a good idea because it's much more simple. And I used to recommend that to my client too.
Perfect.
To prevent the use of secrets.
Great.
Actually, MSI is very powerful because Microsoft Azure change the password for you. You don't have to think about the password policy management, etc. So this is a great point.
Okay, wonderful. All right, with that said, gonna stop the recording. Thanks again, James.
Yes, thank you guys.